things right now. So let's give a clap up for them really quick and really hard. Friends and family, y'all. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Friends and family, y'all. Friends and family. All right, so this is an improv group, ladies and gentlemen. They do improv comedy. Is it comedy? Improv comedy?
Improv acting, comedy, yeah, it's all the above.
Improv.
Either way.
Are y'all familiar with improv? Dope. So this is actually my first time, so I'm very excited to see how this will rock.
Oh,
And your name? What's your names? What do you go by? Friends and family, right?
yeah,
Friends and family. All right, dope, dope. Follow y'all on Instagram. That's your Instagram handle.
yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all do that part though. I'm gonna leave now. Friends and family.
All right, evening everyone. Y'all looking real nice, dapper and stuff. So before we start, can we get like a one-word suggestion? Anything. Red? Red? All right. The bread? Oh yeah, something with my kids. You see what happened was I don't have your bread, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it though. Um, when I'ma get it. I didn't get paid last week. I know it's not here, but that's because I didn't get it. So if I didn't get it, that means it can't be here. So I'm glad. That's because you're a real reliable person. That's what I liked about you. But like, I mean, I was there. I was there for you because that's what girlfriends do for each other. I mean, yeah, girlfriends do for each other. And yeah, but I'm gonna get your bread though. Just not today. I don't have it right now. It's not happening. You're not getting it back today. I feel pressured though, but I feel it. I feel pressure because you're pressuring me right now. But I thought I established that I don't have the money and you're still here. Payday. Payday. Uh, that's hello?
Yo, Chrissy, baby girl.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I got that $70 that you said that you needed.
Yeah?
Yo, where you at right now?
Um, I'm home.
Oh, you at that bum nigga's ass, aren't you?
Look, listen. Listen, we don't gotta get into the name calling, but I am. But that's not what's important. I'm a,
Girl, listen. I just want to know where I can drop this cash at.
I don't like your tone.
Well,
Can
I
you,
don't like going $70 broke. So where you at?
okay, can I call you back?
Girl, fine.
Thank you, bye. First of all, mind your business. You're still my ex. Okay, I don't need you judging me right now. And you don't even know the situation. So I already told. All right, I must like be in the twilight zone. When I get paid, that's payday.
was surprised, yes.
I took care of you because that was mom's wish.
You gonna break your mama's wish.
She said a little while, not 5 years.
You know, 5 years not a lot. I feel like a little while was forever. You feel me? Forever is not a lot.
Granddad, I got some pamphlets, okay? Some nice retirement homes.
Retire. You don't let the white people take care of you.
So, did you give your grandfather the pamphlets?
I did.
How did he take it?
How do you think he took it? He went back to Africa seeds.
I'm not gonna ask what you mean by that because I can't tell if you mean the country or the drugs. So,
Oh, you know how Granddad is? I gave him one room and he decides to never leave that room. Ever.
yeah.
Listen, I really want him to move out. Listen, I want to move and stuff, you know?
Okay.
But he's got like what, another year tops? Like I can say we can get married and just wait for him just to go.
Okay. About this marriage thing, right? So like 5 years ago, when your grandfather, not grandfather, whatever it is, your mama's wish, like when he moved in, you know, I was cool with the situation we had. I come over, we get busy, I go home, you know, and then you know we upgraded to you getting me stuff, and then you know I cook a meal here and there, you know, and you know I'm okay with this arrangement, you know, marriage. It ain't it, Chief. You know, I'm just saying, marriage, you know.
Calm down.
I didn't know you was trying, you know, get married. You know, I thought we was
I
just.
mean, what else does a man mean when he goes like, we'll be married?
Yikes! Don't do that. I'm uncomfortable. Get up.
Look, just finish dinner. You know, Granddad wants his mush. I'll see what I can do, okay?
Okay. All right.
Oh, Granny boy, where's my mashed potatoes? I'm hungry.
So, I was telling you about the night when we went to the party, you remember?
No.
You don't remember the party? You was there. She was turned up. She
I know.
wasn't there, but she was there.
I know.
Why you keep doing that?
Y'all trying to prove, I see how it is.
But
No.
it was an accident.
So you really like, so you slept with Sean's brother?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I did.
Oh shit.
I regret it.
Oh yikes. You regret it?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even good? Yikes. All that trouble for nothing.
Basically.
Yikes.
I just don't really know how to tell my brother about it. I don't know how he's gonna feel about it.
I don't know how he gonna feel about it either, especially because it was bad. Like, what was bad
I
about
mean,
it?
why am I
Like,
gonna tell my brother I had bad sex with his friends?
Nah.
What's good with you?
no, I don't know why you gotta tell him, period. Well, if he don't know, it won't hurt him. It's not his business what you do.
They're always gloating though. I feel like he's gonna bring it up in conversation.
But you a grown ass woman, like,
I mean, it's true, but still.
but like, what happened though? How did that happen? What you got? I need information to formulate in my head.
Basically.
Why you staring over there?
I'm sorry. I feel uncomfortable.
Why are you uncomfortable?
I didn't want to talk to you.
You don't want to talk?
No.
But you came over here.
I thought about it and then I knocked the door, but it was too late. I tripped when I was trying to run.
Trip.
Yeah.
You was trying to run.
Yep.
That's why you was out of breath or something.
Basically.
You was doing all that unnecessary shit.
I was breathing because
Yeah.
I was tired.
But you're here now. So you want to close
Exactly.
my door?
Yeah.
You want to close my door?
Alright. Can I walk out really quick?
Walk out who?
Never mind. Okay. Let's not make this awkward.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to you, Blaine. Let me repeat it. Did you not hear me?
What are you trying to say?
I don't. Whole what? You don't get that? I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Why don't you wanna
Like we're done.
Oh.
Finito.
Like,
You know what that means? It means done. It's another way.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm not
just
happy.
making sure.
why are you doing that?
Because I don't want my brother finding out.
You don't want your brother to find out.
Yeah, and
How you smiling?
personally,
How you
because
smiling?
I was. Who was smiling?
You was wrong.
How was I
So
wrong?
you don't want your brother to find out you was wrong.
At least I was trying to, because I wasn't getting the same energy back.
Oh.
Girl, that's what you told him?
That's what I told him, because they're trying to act up. I'm like,
Yikes.
I was like, first off, you gotta check yourself. before you
Yikes.
try. So
That hurt my feelings.
I think it hurt his too. I don't care that much.
Well, wait, you still ain't tell me how did it happen? Like, how did y'all connect together? Smush cheeks.
Oh, what does that mean? What are you trying to do?
Hmm?
What are you trying to do?
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to go home.
You trying to go home?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
What does this mean? Are you trying to signals? Like what's
What?
what you gonna do?
I mean, you see what I'm trying to do.
You got any alcohol? You got any alcohol by any chance?
Hmm?
Do you have any alcohol? I need a couple shots. I
You
can't.
need shot.
I need some shots.
So I heard what happened.
Careful, Pico.
You see, I don't even care that you slept with my friend. I'm just mad when I was trying to talk to Stacy, your friend. You was mad, but you end up. You see, this is
Because I
how
was
it.
trying to protect you from Stacy.
What happened to Stacy? She got something.
I didn't see all that. What are you dragging her for? I didn't see
I'm
it.
just if she had some.
All I'm saying is that I just want to protect my precious friend.
From me.
Listen,
So,
some of the people you hang around with, that has nothing to do with me.
So, but you slept with one of the.
I was drinking. I had to drink before I do it.
You had to drink.
I had to drink. Your friend's terrible. By
That's
the way.
not.
All the
that's
stories
not
he said
safe.
before were lies about him doing good. Because I don't know what the fuck.
I don't need to know about all that.
Y'all
I'm
always
just
talking
saying.
shit about, oh, bro, oh, you know I smashed it. That shit was whack.
I don't need to know what it was. You tell me. You keep telling me. Do I
Okay,
tell
the
you?
point is, I apologize. I told, I'm done. I don't want to talk to him anymore. It's it. It's through.
Now you see. Now saying it's always gonna be bad vibes between us. You know, not me and
Between
you.
me, oh, I was about to say,
But
what the fuck?
like, if you come around, you know,
I'm not going to come around. Trust me.
it
I'm not going to.
There we go, yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, thanks for having us. You've been a wonderful audience. If you could take the time out to follow us on social media. On Instagram, we are Friends OTV.
sleep.
Yes, let's give it up for them one more time.
I guess this is good.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful young creatives. Well, now we'll just be sharing a little bit about ourselves, a little bit about Build and Chill and Solid Compounds. Some of y'all may know about Build and Chill already, but we have another group under Build and Chill called Solid Compounds, which is us as a unit. And I'm just allow Isaiah to share a little bit about that since he created the name.
Nah, that's not true. And so, boy. So anyway, guys, listen. So Build and Chill is something that me and the fellas here, Aaron, Elijah, and this yellow guy right here created. And it was supposed to be for the community, you know what I'm saying, to bring business, or should I say to bring brands together, small business brands together. And I mean, because we don't have that. We don't have, as a black people, we don't have that here. Like, you know, we got a lot of businesses that's not ran by us, so we wanted to start something that was for us, you know? So that's where Build and Chill came from. So Solid Compounds, that came, I mean, this is our character. Like, we joke all day long, especially this guy. Nah, this guy, yo,
It's
we
mainly
joke
him,
all
though,
day
y'all.
long.
This the
You know what I'm saying?
jokester. Call him
It's
Joker.
plenty of laughs. All right, Cal. Plenty of personalities, plenty of everything. So we, you know, that's why we did the comedy event. So that's why we're doing what we're doing right now. We just want to present fun, laughs, plenty of good times, right? E?
Yes, Isaiah.
You look just like your father too. In the
Oh,
in the
yeah.
front.
Thank you. I didn't know. Oh, yeah. Oh.
All right. Go ahead, man. Oh, this is a low. What's going on? So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Oh yeah, thank you, Kyle. Wow, this guy he works in the church, so give it up for Kyle. I think it's give it up for Kyle. I think your smile is scaring the crowd though, so be careful. Just be mindful. Just be mindful of what's going on. So. So we want to present. Actually, we want to present the next comedian, but I also want to give a little disclaimer. So we don't want anybody to really, alter their style too much, but try to keep it as clean as possible. I have a clean shaved head, clean like my head. Yeah, about maybe. Go ahead, you can. If you got it. Oh, so. So try to keep it as clean as possible, and just everybody come up do your thing, but just keep in mind you don't want to nothing, no mama's jokes, and no mama's jokes. They were funny back in the day, but now it's like no who? Try to stay away from the FUCKs. You know what I'm saying? The F words, the P words, and the there's a lot of different words we could stay away from, but try to stay away from as many words that you feel is just raw. We don't want nobody running out here crying and holding their undergarments and running down the block. So, definitely be mindful of that. So we got our first, actually, E could present the first performer. If Kyle, listen, if you're going to, you might as well say it in the mic if you're going to say it. Don't break
nothing. All right. Well, first performer will be me. All right, let's go. All right. What's going on? Well, thanks, sis. Appreciate it. Where should I start? Today was a good day, y'all. How was y'all day? Boom? Good. It's cold, right? Yeah. I hate the winter, no lie. I think everybody should hate the winter. I have a dog in here. I mean, I have a dog at home, not here. I have a dog, and that's why I hate the winter, because I got to walk it, in the winter. It's cold. And anybody in here have dogs? Raise your hand. Only one dog person? All right. I don't want nobody to feel left out. So please, everyone, raise your hand if you got roaches. All right, yeah. See, I knew everybody in here should go. There you go. People, yeah. Don't front. I know you saw one walking past your door or something this morning. I don't know. Or your table, maybe one of them. But anyhow, I realized this month got a lot of birthdays and whatnot. It's kind of like September month. Like everyone is born purposely around September and November, it seemed like. But I realized though, you know, I hate birthdays now. I'm starting to realize that. Like, you like what? How you hate birthdays? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Well, the part that I hate about birthdays is basically when you pull out the cake, right? And you put it on the table. That's what I hate. I hate that when you have to make a wish and you have to blow the candles out. That's the most petrifying part of it all. Because now you got to look at them spit on the cake and get ready to eat it next. Come on now. Nobody ever thought about that? You done cut the cake. So I'm like, nah. You not when a birthday happen, I want them to eat to blow the cake and just eat it by themselves. I don't need to eat it. That's how I feel about it. And you know, you know, things is changing around here. I see nowadays. There's a lot of. I have another problem. I'm gonna tell you what I have. I have a problem. This is gonna be a big one, but just bear with me. I have a problem with the LGBT. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. Y'all gonna agree with me. Watch this. You're gonna agree with me. Watch. See, I'm gonna break it down for y'all. L is for you know what. Y'all know what it is for, right? Come on, help me out, crowd. What's the L for? G is for. Come on, crowd, help me out. B is for what? Now T. Don't help me out. I'm gonna tell you. T is for Transformers. Now that's the. I mean, listen. I don't have no problems with that. You know, it's just that that particular group, they seem like they have a demand. Like they 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 want to put themselves upon you and not try to like let you know who they are. That's the only time. Like I'm gonna tell you a story. I have a friend, right? You know, he was out in the club or whatever the case may be, hanging out, and while he was hanging out with his friend, you know, he made a friend in the club, and this friend happened to be in his eyes something. You know how you get to drink something that was really nice. So he ended up going home with that really nice thing he thought it was, whatever. Went home and discovered when the clothes came off, it was actually male. So he had to fight to get out of that situation. So, that's my issue. That's my issue with that thing there. I realized though, there's a lot of things happening nowadays. A lot of gentrification happening. A lot of things changing. This neighborhood is even changing. It's not. It's still remaining a little bit the same, but it's a lot has a lot that has taken place. That has me like, wow, this is not like the Brooklyn I grew up in. Like now I can walk back into my old neighborhood in Best Eye and don't have to look over my shoulder. I remember when I had to, as soon as I step out my door, I had to look over my shoulder, make sure nobody was in my house ready to hit me in my head. But it just remind me of a time. I got robbed, but I'm gonna tell you the story how I got robbed. I was coming home from school, whatever the case may be, or was I going to school? I can't remember, but anyhow, I was on my way and somewhere, but I'm going to that location, and next thing you know, I hear someone say, "Don't turn around, white guy. I'm about to rob you. Now reach in your pockets." And I said, "Okay, who's this?" And I said, he said, if you turn around, I'm gonna beat your face, right? And I said, all right, I won't turn around. I won't turn around, sir, whatever the case may be. But I reached in my pockets, turned around, give him the money. As soon as I turned around, he said, now you can turn around. When he got down the block. As soon as I turned around, it was a little 12-year-old girl running. I said, Lord Jesus, I gotta do better than this. But this is just the time we live in, you know. I got another one. I got another story about getting robbed now. No, this is not getting robbed. This is actually when I got, into altercations, into fights and stuff, I remember when I was in junior high school, y'all. I used to go to junior high school right around the corner from here, as a matter of fact. Or a few corners around, a few blocks, and then around the corner from this place here. But anyhow, back to this here. I got into this school, and it was the worst thing ever, yo. I got in there, and I felt like I was in jail. You know, people was getting robbed all the time, so I knew I had to get with it. You know, I had to get smart. So I said, I'm not gonna be the one getting robbed in here all the time. So I end up, I had my mom used to make me sandwiches all the time, right? And this is like a poor private school. Everyone don't have sandwiches. The school's across the street from the projects, what they call the hood, or call the bad area to live in, whatever. But I'm making, I'm bringing these sandwiches, and I realized I don't even like these sandwiches. So I decided to start giving it to the people there. Oh, thank you, sir. I'm holding this microphone. Nobody told me, but your pastor told me that I'm holding the mic a little strange. But now, yeah, yeah. But anyhow, back to this story again. Okay. Oh, no. On that note, I forgot the story. Am I allow somebody else to do the Jill Scott and close this out? Because we got some. Oh, yeah. Wow, this is crazy. You actually look like you can hold it because you got the appearance for it. You could do the demonstration. Yellow top, huh? Oh, the sandwich, right? Oh. So the sandwich, I started giving away to somebody because there was a there was a bully that was in the school. The bully that was in the school that used to bully everybody. But what I did, I realized that there was some people in the school that can actually that wasn't getting bullied, and I discovered that is because the bully couldn't deal with them. So I said, listen, man, there was one dude in there named Ziegler, and I said, yo, Ziegler, man, I noticed this bully don't mess with you. So here's what I'm gonna do, man. You always look hungry, so I don't want my sandwich really, and you always ask me for a piece of my sandwich every time I come here. You take my whole sandwich, and make sure this other kid don't mess with me, right? So he said, listen, Elijah, I can do this. So I had a little bodyguard for a little while. And sure enough, whenever this guy came around, all I had to do is say, yo, Zig. And Zig would show up. He would not bother. And what happened was, the saddest part was Ziegler got in trouble. And when he got in trouble, I got in trouble because now Ziegler wasn't around. So I had only one thing to do. I said, listen, man, here's my sandwich. I gave it to Mo. I said, listen, I don't have nothing to do, but here's a sandwich. Eat this, please, and don't bother me. But it didn't work. I just got my beat up, and that was that. But yeah, that's the end of that. Closing out here, really, and I'm going to have Brother Greg come on up next and do his ones and twos. Brother Greg, give it up for him. Give it up. I could do better than that. I could do better than that.
Yo, my bad about the Jill Scott thing. You had just brought it up, and then it was just there. Now I gotta look at fuck it, I don't care. Whatever, man. Thanks again for having me, though, everybody. I appreciate this. A big shout out again, Isaiah, Eli, Aaron. Seriously, as you mentioned, man, bringing us together, community events, keeping it in within the culture. That shit is really what's important. Sorry, man. I'm trying not curse as much. I'm trying, but. Nah, seriously though, thanks again for having me. And I'm not gonna lie, I do have always great experiences with building shows, seriously. Like, last time I was here, it was a great environment, great music, great people too. I will admit though, I had my set, and to be quite honest, it was a nightmare. I ain't gonna hold you, it was a nightmare. I remember it clear as day. I had just got my dreads done, I was feeling myself. I came all the way from the Bronx, god damn it. I was feeling like a warrior. Couldn't be stopped. Came here to do a set, watching all these great performances. I go on. But before that, I thought to myself, yo, I'm so goddamn fly today. Why not get high before my set? Why the fuck not? What's the worst that could happen? Lo and behold, I end up getting this mic from Eli, standing right there, and I instantly forgot everything I was going to say. And I know, it happens, but it was hilarious, too. Because at the same time, I'm there, I'm fumbling on my words, starting to sweat bullets. To be honest, there was a cameraman there. I think it was this one. He had a camera there, and I swear to God, I could feel the reflection on the lens because I knew I could see myself fucking up in 1080p, and it was killing me. It's fucking terrible, man. Oh, I'm sorry again for the language, but whatever. It really rubbed me the wrong way, but it helped remind me, though, like, why I do this. And also, it was a good kick in the ass that I needed to get my shit together and get my shit right. I am cursing a lot. I know. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. Woo. Yeah, right. That's what I'm trying. But no, seriously though, it was a good experience for me. I did learn a lot. It did help me realize like a few things because I wasn't able to come to the last Build and Chill event, which was I believe the business edition. Yeah, the business edition of Build and Chill. I actually went up. I told Eli, I was like, man, I'm sorry. I would have came this weekend, but I was going up state to my old alumni college for alumni weekend to turn up. And I did, I'm sorry. But I learned a valuable lesson during that experience on that weekend. That 25-year-old Greg can't fucking turn up as hard as 22-year-old Greg did. And like, I would give you examples of these stories of what happened, but I don't remember. It happened. It was a blur. It was a whole 3 days. Terrible stuff, people. And I mean, the worst part about it is that not only learning that valuable lesson, but I had a few horrible scares. Like on the last day when I'm getting ready to leave, I realized, holy smokes, I lost my wallet. I left them in my book bag. I'm like, damn, I lost my keys. I ended up doing laundry the next day and ended up finding it in the washer. Then I'm like, oh, man, all right, I'm fine. It's not that bad. I end up going to the bar the next day. I get online. I get to the front. I look. Fuck. I left my ID. Goddamn. Upstate. And when I say upstate, I mean 30 minutes from Montreal, Canada, upstate. Gone. Terrible. So then I'm like, you know what? It's whatever. I'll go back, get my last ID, my previous one. Yeah, it was expired. Whatever. I'll go back. It has my face. It has my name. It has my date of birth. Should be good enough. I go back. Sponsor looks me dead in the eyes and says, no, you can't get in. I'm like, why? Your driver's license expired. I'm like, but I'm over 21. He's like, but your license expired. And I go over to him with my ID in my hand, and I'm pointing. I'm like, it says my date of birth is that I'm 25, and you need to be 21. And he looks at me as if I'm an idiot, and then points to the expiration date right under it and says, it's expired. I know, but how old am I? Why does that matter? And it happens too many times, too. Seriously, it happened to me at a liquor store. Liquor stores, actually. Even ones when they knew me. I'm like, come on. What are we doing? It even happened to me at a pharmacy. Like, what if I was really on deathbed, needing medication, trying to fight for my life, fall dead on the floor? They ain't going to help me. Why? Because my license expired. The fuck? The fudge. Jeez. It's terrible, man. It's just wrong. But to be honest with you, I'm going to have to probably get a new license. I got to take that L. But it is a type of lesson that I learned. Another one I did learn, because I am not going to lie, we're building chill, bringing all these artists together to appreciate art. It is one of the main reasons. I'm trying to move down to Brooklyn, actually. I do love the Bronx, don't get me wrong. But it's just too far to commute. It's crazy. I work down here. It's too much shit. Shoot, stuff, whatever. But you saw what I say? Get this mic out of here. The thing is, though, I did learn that, MTA is terrible. There are subway creatures everywhere you go. I learned that there's actually no escaping it. Like, I mostly deal with the 4, 5, and 6 train and dealing with literally the hottest, dirtiest subway station on the planet Earth, the 125th Street station. And, oh, my God, I see some dirty ass. You know what? If I could use just one word to really describe the vibe, it'd be rough. Just rough. Like, see 4 homeless dudes sharing one blunt filled with Reggie. Rough. Like, ugh. But then I've been on this hunt for looking for apartments in Brooklyn, and I've gotten a little bit familiar with some of the trains, like the J, the L, the M, the D. And the vibe is different. It's just, I'm not going to say it's perfect. It's decent. Weird as hell, but decent. Like, I can give you an example on the J line one time. Actually, last week, I take the J heading back downtown, and I'm there with a friend of mine's, and we're on the train, and as we're going, 6 random chicks just walk in. Random Caucasian women. I'm not going to lie. I got to throw that in there because it was weird. They walk in, they have a bunch of bags, they're all giggling, walking to the end of the cart. And we were looking at each other like, yo, what is going on? There's like 8 people on the car, and then these 6 walk in. And they're just giggling and laughing and going crazy and talking a whole bunch of yip-yap. Next thing I know, I end up starting to see they're starting an operation. They end up starting pulling out decorations out the bags with tape. Then they end up putting up tapestry on the top ceiling of the car, of the train. And then they actually pull out the bag, cut up letters that they didn't tape on the car door at the very end. I'm like, hold up, is this still the J train? What the fuck? What's happening here? I'm looking at my friend, I'm like, yo, do you see this? He's like, I don't care. I'm like, you need to. And as this is going on, I see more letters getting plastered on the car. And it just ends up spelling out, it's your B-day, girl. I'm like, hold up. I know I don't see what I think I'm about to see. But then they did have more bags. And as the bags were starting to be emptied, they ended up pulling out pieces of wood, like 4 to 5 pieces. And then a huge piece, almost similar to this table. And then that's when they got into the process of actually building a table on the J train in the middle of the day. And I'm still just like, hold up, what? First of all, I couldn't be sexist. It was great to see these women unifying on one goal to this level. It kind of threw me back. I wasn't ready for this. But then it's like, hold up, they on the ground, on their knees, on the J train, fixing up a table. I'm like, hold up, what is going on? This friend of theirs must be something else. And then, of course, it is the one white chick with half purple and half red hair saying, oh, my God, you guys are crazy. I'm going to put this on my Instagram. Gather my friends. And then it gets worse because they end up pulling out tablecloth and silverware and glasses. So I'm looking at my friend, I'm like, yo, bro, I think this is a real party. Why weren't we invited? What the fuck? Fudge. Whatever. So then they end the process of pulling out more stuff out the bags. The girl is going crazy because her friends are so loyal. Now, mind you, the only thing going through my head is why in the hell would they do this? Knowing that the train will be wobbling over and knocking down all the shit. They didn't care, though. All they would do is just scream and then just pick the stuff back up and line up the silverware and napkins and glasses. And then they get more stuff out the bag, like pasta and lobster with wine. What type of party do y'all do on the J train? I'm trying to figure it out, and I can't. And then I had to get off. I ain't gonna lie, it was Chambers Street. I was like, I've seen enough. This is too much for me. Because now I'm getting hungry, and I don't think they're gonna give me a plate. It was just so weird because, I learned, well, one, full disclaimer, the very next day, I'm taking the 5 train going downtown at 8 in the morning, and I end up sitting next to this older woman who's reading a newspaper. And lo and behold, on page 3 of the New York Post, there it is, unbelievable birthday experience, showing the chick with purple and red hair, smiling while eating pasta and lobster with a glass of wine. I'm like, hold up. So this is what life is like on the J train? This is what MTA in Brooklyn is like? Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Because I learned 2 valuable things. One, I had to ask myself, what in the hell type of situation would all 6 of those women be in that the best scenario to celebrate a friend's birthday is on the J train, on the ground? In what universe is that? What? Another thing is, the quality of my friends has gone like exponentially higher. Like I expect a lot more now. After I've seen this changes everything. Like seriously, if you're not willing to go half as hard as this, I can't fuck with you, Fudge. You're just not worth it. There's just a certain level that needs to be appreciated now. I feel like I've earned that. I feel like I'm a good enough friend. Like, yo, we could go to an actual restaurant, but don't get me wrong, but like, if you need to, shit. At least for me, I feel like I've earned that. That's my time, though, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Yes, give it up to him one more time, Greg, a.k.a. Dave Chappelle to me. I always got to do a Dave Chappelle. You know that, man. Dave Chappelle. Huh? David Dress, right. Now we about to give it up for Mr. H-U-E-Y, Huey. Huey in the house. Do. I don't even know.
Little Nemo head ass nigga. Fuck going on? These lights are bright. Hey Instagram, what's up everybody? What's up y'all? How y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all good? The homies asked me to come out and come talk some. As a matter of fact, the homie, who was the dude talking about he was on train and shit and all the weird people? Is he still here? Where you at? Yeah. You right here, son? Look, my G. I've been out here in Brooklyn almost 10 years now. Look, man. What you do? If you've been looking for apartments off the M line, L line, J line, all those other crazy ass lateral lines and shit with them weird white people, and it's kind of like black people. They got black skin, but they not really black. They like from the suburbs and from like fucking some other state and shit like that. They only know like 10 black people themselves, type black people. So if you're looking for apartments over there and shit, bro, you is setting yourself up for an L, bro. Like, don't do that, my nigga. Like, look, what you do, you get your ass on 2-3 line, the 4-5 line, AC line, nigga. BQ line for about 25% of Brooklyn. Hey, really after that, my nigga, son, you straying into like wild, dangerous lands, bro. Like, it's, you know, it get like, it's real shit though, nigga. Like, look, it gets real progressive in this motherfucker. It's really progressive is all I will say about that, okay? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you also don't want to fuck with people that do birthday parties on trains and shit, nigga. Like, in Brooklyn, there's a lot of people with mental illness in this city, nigga, so, especially Brooklyn. So, don't do that. But what was I saying, son? Back to anyway. So, yeah, the homies, they asked me to come out, talk some shit with you guys and whatnot, and so I usually just, you know, every time I talk, I try to talk shit with a little purpose, you know, make sure y'all get a little lesson and shit. So I want y'all to know about one of the realest niggas alive, son. Yo, this nigga, yo, he was so real, son. He went below us, nigga. We didn't even know this nigga existed, son. I just found out about this nigga a couple days ago, son, to my surprise. When I tell y'all this story, son, y'all motherfucking jaws is gonna drop, son. So back when George Bush was president, y'all remember George Bush, right, son? You know, he don't like black people and that nigga and shit, you know, motherfucker, you know, let niggas drown, and we was fucking having a pool party, and niggas came, killed niggas, and he came out like 3 days later, like, well, what the fuck's going on here? Like, you must not got the news, huh, nigga? Like, that nigga George Bush, son, that nigga. So he had a person running HUD, actually, for him during, like, the first, like, 3 years of his fucking term. This nigga's name was Alonzo Jackson, son. I know you. I didn't even know who this nigga was. I didn't know Bush had black people besides Condoleezza motherfucking Rice and shit like that. But Condoleezza Rice is the type of black people that ride the train lines that you was on, nigga. Like, you know, that she don't look like she know how to fry nothing, nigga. Like, shit. That motherfucker shit. Look, you said that bitch in the store for groceries. She come back with cheese and chicken, nigga. Like, you ain't got no Lawry's, no double, no Maggi, nigga. Shit, you could no sazon, niggas. Thousands of different black, nigga. You could have picked one spice, nigga. All these spices, you came back with cheese and chicken, nigga. Like, it ain't even motherfucking fried chicken, nigga. You just got a whole chicken, bitch. If you don't get the fuck out of my house, you fucking must think I'm retarded, Condoleezza. I knew I shouldn't. Where the fuck is Tamika? Shit. You ride the AC line, that's another one, nigga. You know, you get yourself a good Brooklyn girl like Tamika, you know, you get a fucking, you know, fucking, I don't know, Keisha or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They got different names and shit, but they hold your ass down, my nigga. Not in no mother lines, though. Them bitches crazy. But back to Alonzo Jackson, my nigga. So Alonzo Jackson, let me tell you what this slick dick ass motherfucker did, boy. He did some slick shit to help black people, though. He was helping black people. It was fucking amazing. I mean, when you find out why they fired him, too, it's the most amazing shit. So when he came out and shit like that, the federal government gave HUD, all this fucking money when they first started and shit. So Alonzo Jackson and shit, he from like Detroit, Michigan and shit. So anybody, old heads, you look like you know about Michigan and shit. You know anything about Michigan? A little bit. Look, I know you've been around. You probably got Cadillac and everything. Nigga. You know about Michigan. Your daddy probably worked for Ford or some shit like that. You know about Michigan shit. Quit playing. You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows something about Michigan shit. Everybody in here over 40. Don't play shit. I watched the Free Ray Ricky Ross story. Apparently, they was coming from the Midwest, everything, where back in the 70s and 80s in this city and trafficking drugs and going from New York to Ohio and all sorts of shit. I know you old motherfuckers. Y'all be trying to act like y'all holier than thou. But I see y'all, my daddy know y'all too. He be telling me stories. But so Alonzo Jackson basically went to people like they age and shit like that, and he started giving the money out to his friends and shit like that. The money that the federal government gave them and shit, right? Black people. His friends are black though. His friends all ride the A, the C line, the fucking 2-3 line, niggas like that, like me, niggas like this, people that own a bar and shit. So this is also during his time, so I was like, well, what the fuck? And if you was giving the money to black people, what the fuck was going on with black people at the time? Now, if anybody remember, if you was black and you older from 2001 to about really 2008, really, niggas, a lot of niggas was getting money. You'd be like, yo, where all these niggas get all this fucking money from? Niggas got Escalades and shit, man. Like, I know my family got money and shit. We went from living in the hood to one month, like, nigga, where the fuck? I ain't even know this neighborhood exists in Ohio, nigga. Like, ain't no black people in this motherfucker. Like, this shit, we got money, huh? But, of course, like most niggas by 2008, nigga, we found out that shit was not money. That shit ran out, and niggas was back to the hood we went type shit, nigga. And, we kind of recovered since, but we took, a little L with Obama bitch ass. I ain't gonna go on that nigga, though. His wife, though, oh, God, she is too good for that nigga, son. Like, oh. Yes, Obama looks like, son, like he the nigga that ride the line that you was on, the M line, and somehow, some way, he just happened to be on the A line and discovered Michelle Obama. And, like, Michelle Obama was tired of dealing with the ain't shit niggas that ride the A and C line. And so she, she fucking, I hate that nigga, son. He just such a suck-ass nigga. But go Michelle. Oh, love her. I would say run for president, but then she got to deal with them crazy-ass white boys, and technically they don't let, like, niggas like me protect black women because that's a crime. So we can't go fucking killing white people because they fucking with Michelle. But, so Alonzo Jackson, so he gave all this fucking money to black people and shit, right? And if you go and you look back to fucking books at the time and shit like that, apparently black people had almost like an 8% like growth rate with finances and money and shit. Like, we was opening businesses and shit like that. All these private contractors and shit like that. I think it's where Tyler Perry got his movie ideas from and shit, from that time period and shit. A movie where the nigga that played everybody daddy and husband in every black movie, he was a good husband, and Sanaa Lathan ain't shit ass way was like, I ain't fucking with you, I'm going to get white man, he love me more. I'm like, nigga, damn, bitch, he got more money than me, that's it, nigga, but I love your stupid ass. But he like, one of them niggas, like, he was giving that, I think that's where he got the idea from. It was men like that. It was actually real dudes like that, though, who would get, like, loans, and, you had a lot of black women, like, my mom's a great example, got all these loans and shit to, like, open up businesses, and, she literally had employees. My mom's hood as fuck, because it was like strip club, fucking, nail salon and shit like that. We had like a chicken shack and shit like that. Like, but, we was employing people in the hood. It wasn't a lot of money, but she was employing people still. Like, this was under George Bush, right? So what they did, son, about 2-3 years in and shit, all the white people and shit, in his office, Dick Cheney and George Bush and, what's the other, what's another, he's an ugly white boy, too, real ugly one, boy, his face all wrinkly, looked like a nutsack without the nuts. Man, just real. It's Donald Rumsfeld. Yeah, nigga chin look like a nutsack without nuts and shit. It's just like, I hate that nigga too, son. But, so anyway, the House Party Commission and everybody, Congress and shit like that, they was like, wait a minute, son, I think this nigger's actually got plans to help black people. They're growing. They're getting all these ideas. They're driving Escalades, and they got spinning rims on their cars now. Motherfuckers, they got someone named Master P and shit. He's hiring out niggers and shit. These motherfuckers are moving to the suburbs and shit like that, around this time. If you look at the books and shit, you got places like in Texas, like DeSoto, Texas. DeSoto, Texas, it's a fucking black suburb, upper middle class black suburb. These motherfucking black people got money. People, like, look, money. You're talking about money. People thought Maryland got money. Nigga, take your ass to DeSoto, Texas, man. These black people got money. I'm talking about money. I ain't even know niggas could live like this, right? Look like some fucking Shangri-La shit. Like, these niggas went to the inside of the earth to live type money type shit. Like, shit is crazy. But this place was founded around the time George Bush was in office, right? Federal funds, give us our fucking reparations. We'll use the money to do some shit with it, you fucking think. So anyway, So Congress and them, they wrote this nigga up, they had him come talk to, all the fucking white people in Congress and shit, when you get in trouble as a nigga and shit. And they like, they tell him like, this is what you did to fuck up. And they're all like, well, you were giving kickbacks to your friends and shit. As I'm watching, the C-SPAN shit from him, I'm like, well, giving kickbacks to your homies and shit, nigga, ain't that what all y'all niggas do? Y'all give kickbacks to y'all homies. That's how, like, white people fucking come from Iowa to fucking New York City and, like, ain't got to struggle for shit. Meanwhile, we got to sleep on the motherfucking train for, like, fucking months at a time sometime before we figure out, like, I think I got it. I think I got it, nigga. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so anyway, they get in there. They snitching on a nigga and shit like that. They try to hate on a nigga and shit like that. Motherfucking, what's the white boy that be on Fox News and shit like that? They fired him. What's his name? What's his name? Bill O'Reilly? Bill O'Reilly, no, fuck nigga, son, suck ass nigga. He hating on him and shit. They saying all sorts of crazy shit about Alonzo Jackson and shit like this, right? So mind you, so they fired him 3 years in, right? Immediately, the first thing they did with all of this new policies they did for black people, son, the first motherfucking thing, son, they went and they took back all